In the dead of night, Jake slips into a run-down bar in Rock Springs, Texas, seeking solace from a town that suffocates his truth. Across the room, Ethan's hesitant glance meets his. A spark ignites. Their whispered words defy the weight of unspoken rules, but every stolen moment risks exposure. In a place where love is a secret, can they dare to hope for more? Jake, a 25-year-old mechanic, wipes grease from his hands as he settles onto a bar stool. The hum of a jukebox fills the air, masking the weight of another day spent hiding who he is. Rock Springs is a small town, the kind where everyone knows your name and your secrets don't stay buried long. Jake has learned to keep his head down, to let the whispers about his bachelor life slide. But tonight, he's tired of pretending. Ethan, 30, a history teacher, new to town, sits alone at a corner table, nursing a beer. He moved to Rock Springs for a fresh start after years of dodging questions about his personal life in Dallas. His shoulders are tense, eyes scanning the room as if expecting judgment. When Jake's gaze catches his, Ethan freezes, then offers a cautious nod. Jake feels a pull, a reckless urge to bridge the distance. He crosses the room, heart pounding, and slides into the chair opposite Ethan. "Long day?" Jake asks, voice low to avoid curious ears. Ethan's lips twitch, almost a smile. You could say that. Teaching kids who'd rather be anywhere else isn't exactly a dream job. Their conversation flows easily. History, cars, the quiet rebellion of living in a place that demands conformity. Jake feels a warmth he hasn't known in years, a connection that makes the world feel less heavy. They exchange numbers, a small act that feels monumental. Over the next few weeks, their meetings are clandestine, late-night texts, brief encounters at the edge of town, a stolen coffee at a gas station diner. Each moment is electric, charged with the thrill of something forbidden. Jake finds himself smiling more, his days at the garage less suffocating. Ethan's guarded demeanor softens, his laughter a rare gift that Jake cherishes. But the town watches. A neighbor's raised eyebrow, a co-worker's pointed question about Jake's new friend, tightens the knot in his chest. Ethan grows cautious, canceling plans when he thinks someone's noticed. One night, under a starless sky behind an abandoned barn, Ethan grabs Jake's hand, his grip tight. "This could ruin us," he whispers, voice raw. "If people find out, I could lose my job. You could lose everything." Jake pulls back, stung. "So we just stop? Pretend this doesn't mean anything?" His voice shakes with frustration, the fear of losing something he's only just found. Ethan hesitates, eyes conflicted. "I don't want to stop, but we have to be careful. This town, it doesn't forgive." The tension lingers as they part ways, Jake's heart heavy with unspoken words. He lies awake that night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if love is worth the cost. Ethan's fear mirrors his own, but the thought of letting go hurts more than the risk of being seen. As dawn breaks, Jake knows one thing. He's not ready to give up. Not yet. The diner's neon sign flickers as Jake freezes mid-step, his coffee cup trembling in his hand. Through the window, he sees Ethan laughing with Sarah, the pastor's daughter, their heads bent close like they're sharing a secret. Jake's chest tightens. Betrayal cuts sharper than any blade. He thought Ethan was his, but in Rock Springs, truth is a luxury neither can afford. Jake, still reeling from weeks of stolen moments with Ethan, walks away from the diner, the image of them together burning in his mind. He and Ethan, the 30-year-old history teacher, had built something fragile but real. Late-night drives, whispered promises behind the old mill, hands brushing in the dark. Now it feels like a lie. Jake's phone buzzes with a text from Ethan. "Meet me tonight. We need to talk." His stomach churns, but he agrees, the need for answers outweighing the sting. At dusk, they meet in the shadow of a rusted water tower, far from prying eyes. Ethan's voice is low, urgent. "It's not what you think," he says, stepping closer. "Sarah's just a cover. The school board's been asking questions. Why I'm not settled. Why I'm always alone." I panicked. Jake clenches his fists, anger flaring. "So you play pretend with her? While I'm risking everything?" His voice cracks, the hurt spilling out. Ethan reaches for him, but Jake pulls back. "You don't get it," Ethan says, desperation creeping in. "If they suspect, I'm done. No job, no life here." "But I'm not giving you up." His words hang heavy, a plea wrapped in fear. Jake wants to believe him, but doubt gnaws. "Then why does it feel like I'm the one paying the price?" he snaps. The silence that follows is deafening, their connection fraying under the weight of secrets. The next day, Jake's co-worker, Mike, slaps a local paper on the garage counter. "Heard about your buddy Ethan," he says, smirking. "Pastor's girls got him on a short leash." The words land like a punch. Jake forces a shrug, but the gossip spreads like wildfire. At the market, whispers trail him, neighbors speculating, eyes narrowing. He feels the town closing in, each stare a reminder that he and Ethan are playing a dangerous game. That night, Jake writes a letter, his pen shaking. "Tell me you're in this, Ethan, or let me go." He slips it into Ethan's mailbox, heart pounding. Hours later, Ethan's reply arrives, scrawled and urgent. "I'm scared, but I love you. Meet me tomorrow. We'll figure this out." Jake clutches the note, torn between hope and dread. The town's watching, and Ethan's fear is a crack in their foundation. As he lies awake, Jake wonders if love can survive a place that demands they hide. Jake's hands tremble as he tapes his column to the community board outside the Rock Springs Library. The words he poured out last night, his truth, his love, his right to exist, stare back at him, bold and exposed. He's done hiding, but the town's whispers have turned to shouts. By morning, his defiance will cost him, and Ethan's silence weighs heavier than ever. In a place that punishes truth, Jake's stand is a spark in a powder keg. The column, published in the local paper, names no names, but lays bare Jake's struggle as a gay man in Rock Springs. It's a plea for acceptance, a challenge to the town's rigid norms. By noon, the fallout begins. His boss at the garage calls him in, voice cold. "You're stirring trouble, Jake. Customers are complaining. Take a week. Unpaid." Jake nods, jaw tight, but the sting of rejection burns. At home, his father, a weathered farmer, won't meet his eyes. "You're shaming us," he mutters before walking out. The door slams, echoing like a gunshot. Jake's phone stays silent. No word from Ethan since the letter. The betrayal from the diner still festers, and Ethan's absence now feels like abandonment. Jake drives to the edge of town, gripping the steering wheel, torn between anger and longing. He wants to believe Ethan's note, but the teacher's fear has built a wall between them. The town's judgment is a vice, squeezing tighter with every passing hour. Meanwhile, Ethan sits in a dimly lit church basement in a neighboring town, surrounded by strangers at an LGBTQ support group. Their stories of rejection, resilience, and quiet victories cut through his fear. A man shares how he lost his family but found freedom in living openly. Ethan's chest aches. He sees Jake in every word. He's been dodging calls from the school board, their questions about his associations growing sharper. But tonight, something shifts. He can't keep running. Back in Rock Springs, Jake faces the town's wrath. A group of locals confronts him outside the hardware store, their voices low but venomous. "You don't belong here," one says, stepping close. Jake stands his ground, heart racing, but their words echo his father's. That night he finds a note slipped under his door. "Meet me at the mill. Midnight. E." Hope flares, but doubt lingers. Is Ethan ready to fight? Or is this another empty promise? At the mill, Ethan waits, his hands stuffed in his pockets. When Jake arrives, the air crackles with tension. "I read your column," Ethan says, voice steady but raw. "You're braver than me." Jake scoffs, hurt spilling over. "Brave? I'm alone out there, Ethan." "Where were you?" Ethan steps closer, eyes pleading. "I'm here now. I'm done hiding." "But this town, they'll come for us both." Jake's heart pounds as he weighs the cost. The fight for their love is just beginning, and the town's not done with them yet. The town hall buzzes with murmurs as Ethan steps to the podium, his hands gripping the edges like a lifeline. Jake watches from the back, heart pounding, as Ethan's voice rings out, "I'm gay, and I won't hide anymore." The room falls silent, then erupts in gasps and whispers. Jake's column exposed their truth, but Ethan's public stand is a lightning bolt. In Rock Springs, where conformity is king, their defiance could cost them everything, or set them free. The days since Jake's column have been a storm. His unpaid leave from the garage turned into a quiet firing, the owner citing community concerns. Hostile stares follow him at the gas station, and a slashed tire on his truck sends a clear message. Jake's father still hasn't spoken to him, the silence a wound that festers. Yet Ethan's note at the mill sparked hope. Now, watching Ethan face the town, Jake feels a mix of pride and dread. This moment changes everything. Ethan's speech is short, but unwavering. He calls out the hypocrisy of a community that preaches love but practices exclusion. "I'm a teacher, a neighbor, a person," he says, voice steady despite the hostile glares. "I deserve to live my truth just like Jake does." He steps down, ignoring the pastor's daughter, Sarah, who looks away, her role as his cover now a public shame. As Ethan passes Jake, their eyes meet, a silent vow to face what's next together. The backlash is swift. By morning, Ethan's principal calls. He's suspended, pending a school board review. Whispers of inappropriate influence spread, twisting his honesty into scandal. Jake finds him at the mill, shoulders slumped. "I knew it'd be bad," Ethan says, voice low. "But not this fast." Jake grabs his hand, anger fueling his resolve. "You stood up. That's what matters. We're in this together now." But the town doesn't relent. Jake's landlord threatens eviction, citing disruptive behavior. A group of locals corners Ethan outside the grocery store, their words sharp with contempt. "Leave, or it'll get worse." Jake pulls Ethan away, heart racing. But the threat lingers. That night, they sit on the edge of Jake's couch, mapping out their options. Staying means fighting a losing battle. Leaving means abandoning the lives they've built. Ethan's voice cracks. "I want us to be free, Jake. But where?" Jake pulls out a crumpled flyer for an LGBTQ support group in Austin, found in Ethan's car. "There," he says, pointing. "A place where we can breathe. Ethan nods, a flicker of hope in his eyes, but fear remains. Leaving Rock Springs means starting over. New jobs, new home, new risks. Yet the alternative is suffocation. As they hold each other, the decision crystallizes. They'll leave, but not as fugitives. They'll go as two people claiming their right to love. The next morning, Ethan packs his car, while Jake writes a final letter to his father, leaving it on the kitchen table. I'm choosing happiness. I hope you'll understand someday. As they drive out of Rock Springs, the town's judgment fades in the rear view. Austin waits, a distant promise of freedom, but the road ahead is uncertain, and the wounds of betrayal and rejection still sting. Jake and Ethan drive into Austin under a blazing sunset, the city's skyline a beacon of possibility, after Rock Springs' suffocating grip. They've left behind jobs, families, and a town that rejected their truth. But the weight of their choice lingers. As they step into a new life, a single question haunts them. Can they build something lasting? Or will the scars of their past tear them apart? Their first weeks in Austin are a whirlwind. They find a small apartment, scraping by with savings while job hunting. Jake lands work at a repair shop, his skills a quiet anchor. Ethan, still stinging from his suspension, tutors part-time, his passion for teaching undimmed. They join an LGBTQ support group, where stories of struggle and triumph mirror their own. A couple, married for a decade, shares how they faced rejection, but found strength in community. Ethan squeezes Jake's hand, a silent promise they'll make it. Yet the past clings. Jake wakes to nightmares of his father's silence, the slammed door echoing in his mind. Ethan flinches at news from Rock Springs. His old school board has banned him from teaching, branding him a disruption. The rejection fuels doubt, and one night Ethan's voice trembles as he admits, "What if we made a mistake? What if this is too hard?" Jake pulls him close, steady despite his own fears. "We're free here. That's worth fighting for." Freedom comes with small victories. They walk hand in hand through Austin's streets, unafraid of judgmental stares. At a local pride event, they volunteer, their laughter mingling with the crowds. The city feels like a second chance, but closure remains elusive. Jake's phone buzzes one evening, a text from his father. "Can we talk? I'm in Austin." His heart races, torn between hope and old wounds. They meet at a quiet park. Jake's father, weathered and hesitant, stands by a bench. "I was wrong," he says, voice low. "I didn't understand, but seeing you now, you're happy. That's what matters." Jake's throat tightens as he nods, the rift beginning to heal. Ethan watches, his own hope rekindled. The moment isn't perfect, but it's a start. A bridge to a future where family might mean acceptance. Months later, Jake and Ethan stand together at a small gathering surrounded by new friends from the support group. They've built a life, shared dinners, quiet nights, dreams of opening a community center for others like them. As they walk home under a starlit sky, Ethan stops, his voice soft. "We made it, didn't we?" Jake smiles, pulling him close. "Yeah, and we're just getting started." Rock Springs fades into memory, its judgment irrelevant. The locals who scorned them face their own isolation, their voices drowned out by a world moving forward. Jake and Ethan, hand in hand, have found their place. A life where love doesn't hide and freedom is their reward. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell. More stories are coming that will move you, inspire you, and challenge the way you see your own journey. Every story matters, and each one brings us closer to who we are meant to become.